Hello and welcome to another episode of Bodied, a Cloud9 fan cast. I'm your host, Havokpus, and I'm joined by my co-host, Frozencreek. How's it going?
Hello, hello. It's going okay. College basketball's done for the year, but that just means that it's time for football.
Heck
Um,
yeah. Football season's always good.
Still, 4 months away, but that's okay. College football is at least. The NFL draft's coming up, so nothing really exciting. I guess NBA playoffs are coming up soon, and NHL. It's the business end of European soccer, so not too much. Um, I'm excited to talk about Valorant this week because they're good now. Well, still.
Yeah, Valorant's
Uh,
Valorant's still good. At least we have that. Before we get to that though, we should talk about some tiny little things. First, the World of Warcraft team still doing pretty well. They beat a bunch of teams. Um, they beat Power Men, Golden Guardians, Team Liquid, 3.5 Men, all to get to the grand finals of the AWC Cup 3, but they lost to Kawi 1-3. I wasn't able to really watch a lot of the game, but it's good to see that the team's still going strong, especially with some like a couple of new players that they added recently.
oh yeah. I didn't see any of it, so I don't know. But it was nice to see them get some revenge on 3.5 Men and shut them out. Are they still playing the same comp? The what droid?
Oh, the Mage Druid Warlock.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not. They maybe have moved away from that a little bit. I'm not
I hope
sure
so
what's
because
like.
it has to be so boring to practice.
I know I would be like super bored too, just being like, ugh, again.
Because that's all they've played for like 2 years.
It really is. It's really that was really the only thing that it felt like they kind of knew. But yeah, it's good. It's good to see them back in action. Moving on, we can talk a little bit about the Wild Rift team. This is another one that I didn't watch, so I didn't even know they were playing. But they beat No More Ego and Saint 2-0. But they lost in the lower finals of whatever event they were playing into Suzaku Esports.
Okay.
So they finished third. For the WNS Major, they will be
So
the
it's the
fifth seed heading into the championship.
yeah. So it's the Wild Rift North American Series, I think, something like that.
Okay,
WNS.
yeah, that makes sense.
Somehow it makes sense. It doesn't
The
make a ton
that
of.
that tournament is April 29th at the Mall of America in Minnesota.
Yes. So if you are local, it's happening at the mall. I'm not sure where. I've only been there once. I have to imagine, or when I was there were two events going on. One was wrestling, and one was a 3-on-3 basketball thing. So I imagine it's in one of those two spaces. So please go cheer them on if you're in Minnesota, because I'm sorry, you guys don't get much.
At least they have that giant mall.
That is true. It's fun to walk around.
It has like an
Walking in the
amusement
mall.
park and everything. I'm
Yeah,
kind of
it's wild.
jealous.
Have you been there before?
I think I've been there once when I was a kid. It was pretty
Why?
neat.
Why'd you go to Minnesota?
My mother is from
Oh,
Minnesota, and
okay,
so I have like my grandparents on her side lived there, and we
that makes
visited them
sense.
once, I think, and so we ran around and did stuff there, I think.
Yeah, cool state. The mall's cool. I was there for the Final Four a couple years ago, so good memories there. Big Ten,
Oh, that's
fo-
pretty dope.
football and stuff. So cool place to be. I'm glad I don't live there because it's colder than Michigan. It snowed the other day, so I'm done with that. But speaking of warmer temperatures, I, I got some warm tea next to me.
Ooh, nice.
a bad transition, but a
That was
transition nonetheless.
yeah. So we can talk about that really was a bad transition.
Sorry.
Cloud9 White are doing the annual VCT Game Changers event, and they are annually, as always, crushing it. Pretty much every team they played against, they 2-0'd, and I believe today, as of recording this, they are in the bracket stage.
Yes, I just saw that tweet right before we started. So this is being recorded on Wednesday, so we don't know what's happening in their current match. But they popped off last week and did not drop a map.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Once again, the gals over at Cloud9 White showing that at least in their own kind of divisional area of play, they are still the best. And there's a good reason why.
Oh yeah. Did you see the video with Max Waldo and Mel?
No, I wasn't able to watch it. Like I saw it.
I think it just
They
came out today.
yeah they put it up like an hour ago when I was at work.
I caught it. It was fun. Max throws her into a blind pick game, and she's played one ARAM in her life, so
Oh, that's fun.
it it, it went as poorly as you would think.
Yeah, I could see it.
So good watch. Apparently, there's more content coming from C9 White,
Which is
including
great. I love it when they
Max.
do
Yeah,
content.
and all of them are entertaining too. So
Yeah, they all have really good personalities. It makes them really fun to watch just in general. So I'm glad to see more of them. But moving on to disappointment.
just the beginning of it too.
Yeah, Cloud9 Academy went 1-2 in the was it the quarterfinal?
It's the
For some reason,
winners
I thought it was the
quarterfinal.
semifinal.
No, it was no. I think you might be right. I think I might have counted the actual final as a round.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever round it was, they lost to the Team Liquid Academy 1-2, unfortunately, and dropped to the losers bracket. And they will be playing their match against 100 Teams Academy on Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, and that should be a pretty good match.
I did
Not 100% sure
hear
where they played.
that match. Malice like popped off on Evelyn though in like the game that we won.
He played her twice, maybe 3 times.
I know in like one of the
Not
games he
sure.
had, I think he had like a fully stacked
Yeah, he did.
Mad Eyes, and he had some insane KDA in like a really short amount of time.
Yeah, he kind of popped off on her in every game, kind of, but there wasn't enough to carry them over the hill.
Yeah, I
I
will
did
say like
watch
I
it,
think the
but
cool thing about Malice is that his jungle champion pool is like really interesting in that he's not playing the usual picks that you're seeing in LCS. He's playing a lot of different picks that you're not super seeing, and he's just crushing it on them too. Like he's been playing like pretty much the same 4 champions pretty much for the whole academy season. You know?
yeah,
So it's kind of interesting that like he's playing like some of them are off meta because he's played Shyvana a couple times. He's
that
played
was his
Evelyn.
third game, yeah. So he played Eve twice and then Shyvana.
Yeah,
Udyr's one, Karthus,
yeah, Karthus. He
Hecarim,
plays Hecarim too, but
one
Hecarim's kind
more.
of I think the only like meta pick, quote unquote, that
Yeah.
we've really been seeing.
And then there's one more, I think, but it's banned out every game basically, so it's not really a big deal. He might get 1 or 2, maybe Eve, if any of them. But it does allow top and mid lane to do some interesting stuff. We saw Copy play Graves this week. So he's done it a couple times. It works out. You just press Q, auto, and then a wave's pretty much done. So pretty in interactive gameplay from him. But yeah, tough loss. Team Liquid's been playing really well recently. and I think that they just kind of got outplayed in game three. The first two games were fun to watch, even despite us kind of getting shit on it in game one. But in game three, I think it was Orange versus Fiora. Bradley, I think, is the Team Liquid Academy top laner, and he just got too big. So not much you can do at that point.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully they can make it through the lower bracket. I think we are still one of the better teams in Academy for sure. So I think that we should be able to make our way to hopefully to the grand finals, I think, if everything goes well.
Oh yeah. It does depend on how a few of the other matches go. 100 Thieves Academy finished 7th in the regular season, but I think they've beat some decent teams on their way here, so it's not like they're nothing.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can pull it up real quick, but it's not a huge deal. Okay, so they beat first place GG.
Oh, that's not bad.
And knocked them out. Or second place GG knocked them out. So should be tough, but also should be a decent game. Oh, they played them twice, or no? They lost to GG, and that's how they got into the losers bracket. I'm tripping.
Going crazy.
The LoL Esports website, if when they like make a bracket, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I got lost there. Actually, 100 Thieves Academy beat 100 next in the lower bracket second round.
This must be a really awkward thing to do. Like you're.
Oh, we did it last year.
No, I still think it's kind of awkward. Like you're playing your
Oh, yeah, it
own
was.
kind of like teammates a little bit, and then you're just like, "Hey, we'll see you later."
Yeah, and our academy team got stomped, or our amateur team got stomped. So wasn't much there. But yeah, so Friday, I think we should have a chance. But it's gonna be tough. 100 Thieves Academy always has a good squad, and it seems like they're peaking at just the right time. So if we do manage to win that game, we'll play the winner of FlyQuest and Immortal Academies, and then we would, I believe, play the loser of TLA GGA to go to the grand final, if my bracketing is correct. So quite a few games left in the split, so make sure to watch out for them. And
Well,
it will keep you updated too.
Well, with that out of the way, let's now transition over to LCS, where we can talk about the incredibly disappointing O3 lost 100 Thieves in our first playoffs match for the spring split.
Yeah, it was a tough one to watch.
It was a travesty.
A fair way to say it. You know that one quote. What is it? Doing the same thing twice is insane.
Oh yeah. The definition of insanity is doing
Yeah.
the same thing twice and expecting different results.
And while the results were vastly different, it was still.
I think, to be fair, that first game, I think any comp would look bad if you were going to play that idiotically that soon into the early game. Like, the team seemed to have no thought process, and they just killed themselves repeatedly. And of course, Blabber was playing Diana, which is literally one of his worst champions, and he has done this multiple times before on Diana. And I just don't. I have no notes for really game one except just me screaming like really angrily, because what they did game one was just unacceptable on any level. and they should not be playing like that because they know better. And the fact that, like, especially Blabber should know better, but the fact that Blabber played the way he did in that game one was abysmal. And it brings up a lot of points that I've made about Blabber in the past, about his performance throughout a season and how he kind of handles himself from the start of the season to playoffs and the end of the season.
I I, I don't want to like give him a pass, but I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that it felt like the game was falling out of control, and he had to like at least try to get him back in. It wasn't even like, despite the fact that it was a GG go next game, like it wasn't actually that far apart for a while. At 15 minutes, it wasn't a 4K gold lead, so it's not like 3.9, so effectively 4, but still, yeah, they were still like way back into it with Rise and Zeri, but like it felt like he jumped off his leash a little too soon, and instead of just trying to stop bleeding, they just were like, okay, this game's over. Let's just run it down as fast.
Yeah, that's
as
kind
we
of how
can.
it felt like.
When like it wasn't that big of a lead, despite the fact that it's hard to come back from 4K at 15, but like they weren't playing like they were down 4K at 15. If that makes sense. I don't think it did.
Yeah, they really mishandled that. I don't really know what else to say on it.
Yeah, I mean, it
I
it was
think the game two the game two, they handled it a lot better. I think if they had not gotten too greedy and tried to end as 100 Thieves was respawning, I think they could have eventually closed out the game, but they greeted and they made a bad judgment call, and they just kind of they threw the game.
I I, I would have to have to like watch it back again totally, but I have to imagine that there is a universe they finished that game off.
No, yeah, I think if they were maybe
I,
a bit quicker, like if they
I'm
maybe had
not
gotten the wave
totally sure.
sooner, or there's a bunch of tiny things, but like that game was extremely winnable. And they just their brains just kind of died in the last few minutes of that game. And I think it
Yeah,
also does show that the comp wasn't necessarily bad, because they were they were playing it a lot better the second time around than they were the first time. Um, they definitely would have looked better if they had won.
kind of. Kind. I think all of the fans were so frustrated, with how game one went, that seeing a run back of draft what was
No,
frustrating
I think
as
yeah,
well. And like,
I think that's definitely super triggering. I think that'd be super triggering to anyone just to see like why are you picking the exact same comp that you just like got extremely just destroyed on? I don't know why you would do that.
yeah,
I
and
was
even
thinking the same thing a little bit, but it's whatever. I don't know much what to say about the third game even. I was kind of struggling even to watch the series at that point.
yeah,
Um,
I think the um fan morale aspect of it was a bit rough.
yeah.
Running it back in game two. I do kind of get it. Like game one, or was it GG next situation? Like they didn't learn in anything except to not int, um,
Yeah.
which obviously helped because they were up at 15 minutes, and it was a winnable game, until the unlucky push at the end, and like they should have won the game overall, but
Yeah, I think the decision making that this series was just not there. I think that's the main thing that killed us. Were not making good decisions. Because I mean, the comps for the first two games, like I can see them working out. Yeah, I mean, you can cite Renekton's abysmal win rate overall, and the fact that Ornn does counter him, and that's maybe a misstep. But I mean, Diana has good engage to kind of be like someone to follow up on, and Ryze and Zeri scales really well, and Renata Glass ultimate does make it to where you can kind of disengage really well on off of things like Nautilus and Ornn and Lee Sin. Like it makes sense, and then you look at game 3, you have Fudge on a scaling mage kind of again, Leona for engage and Trinimers for split push and Volibears can kind of fight. Like the choices make sense. It doesn't feel like nothing's clashing or just not working. It really just seemed to come down to our execution was just really poor on a lot of our fronts with how we needed to kind of play.
oh yeah, I will say that the Renata Glass felt useless
He,
at
I
all
haven't seen
times.
much of her in pro play. Like at least from like looking at
Yeah,
that game, it really felt like all she's good for is using her ult. Like the
yeah,
rest of her, it's her ult and a little bit of her revive mechanic. If you can get a kill, like if you're not able to get the kill when she gets her thing on you, then it's pointless. But it
yeah.
really seems it's more just okay. I'm gonna use my ult. I hope you guys get a kill so we can keep fighting. And if you don't get the kill, then it's like, well, you didn't do anything. You're just kind of there.
Mm-hmm. And like they were out zone controlled. You saw that in the Baron fight after we tried to end.
Yeah, like the Victor ult and his
Yeah,
weld
just
made it
his
really hard for us to like Victor's kit
patience.
just made it hard, and then Ornn has his ultimate as well, to where
Yeah,
it
or an
just stops
ultimate
you.
Lee Sin kick it
Yeah.
if one person gets through, or and if they us all into 3 people, or
Yeah, it
the
is. It
Nautilus
does make
all.
it kind of
It
weird
was
that we
like,
chose
hey,
a.
we're gonna counteract all this and
It does make it kind of weird that we
miss
did
the shooting
choose like
support.
a very divey kind of comp for something that is really good at stopping dives.
I don't know. All right. I guess in game 2 at least, they banned Alistar and Leona in the second phase. But like, were they gonna ban other Renekton? I highly doubt it.
No,
So
I
you
highly doubt it,
probably could have.
especially after what happened the first game. They're like, no, just let me take Renekton.
Oh yeah. So you could pick a Leona there, and then you can engage on them. So
Yeah.
it was, I don't know, it was dumb. Um, I will say the bright spot of those first 2 games, Berserker, he popped off.
Berserker was trying everything in his power to
He
win
was
us the game.
1v9.
His score lines were the best of the team. Like I'm not gonna mention the first game, but like the second game, like 5-2 and 8, like he was legitimately pushing out so much damage, and he
Oh
was
yeah,
trying as
he
hard as he
was
could in the third
all over the
game.
place.
Yeah,
He was backlining, he was frontlining, he was flanking. Um, I don't know if we're gonna see a better Zeri in NA this year, because his positioning was awesome.
yeah,
There was a
his
dragon
area is
fight.
really good. I think sometimes it's just that the team isn't supporting him enough to allow him to like fully utilize that. Um, especially when we're behind, it feels like we're not giving him enough to truly like help us out and kind of carry the ball. It seems our strategy for the most part is let Summit and Blabber take care of the game. Berserker can kind of come in as a secondary carry, and then Fudge is just kind of there as a and they said that on the desk. They called Fudge basically a passenger. Like he's not actively helping us lose or win. He's just kind of there. Um, and I kind of feel that a little bit.
He was certainly a pass injured this weekend.
Yeah, definitely after this weekend, it definitely felt like he's just a passenger. Like he and Well, I think one thing that we really need to kind of keep in mind of, and I think people need to keep in mind of, this roster relatively is a really new roster. Like Summit, Berserker, and Winsome have not had a lot of professional play, I don't think.
No. You win some, especially no.
Yeah, Winsome especially no. And then on top of that, you have Fudge, who he's not played mid lane at all until this season. So this effectively is literally like a new team that we have put together, like a very fresh team. This is our first playoffs. This is the first time this team has played in front of people. You know, so there's probably a lot of psychological aspects and everything that is probably there that you just can't see right off the bat. Um, I'm hoping that come game time for the Golden Guardians match this Saturday, we at least have ourselves somewhat together and we can put in at least a respectable performance.
Yeah. They have a lot to work on going into this week.
Yeah, I
It-
think really the thing that's kind of hampering us somewhat is just champion pool. Like everyone seems to have just a very small champion pool because we're fairly new and we're trying to figure out what works best. And we thought we knew what worked best, but then everyone kind of figured out what we liked, and now we're having to reevaluate again.
oh yeah. It in game 2 and 3 especially, like it felt like they were better players, but they were playing with like ankle weights on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were held back by something. Um uh, it's just so hard to be positive after they shit the bed for 2 straight weeks. Fortunately, it is against Golden Guardians, but the game plan's in front of them. Like just pick Orange, just pick Malphite, just pick Scion, and at some point you'll be very strong, and then we won't be.
Yeah. It seems that, and I think part of it is that Summit, we're really trying to put Summit on the carry duty when it seems that now top lane is and has a lot more tanks that can be played now due to some recent changes. Um, he may just not really feel tanks yet. I don't know. Like we've only seen him play Malphite like once. That was the only time he played a tank, I think. Um,
Yeah,
which is especially an issue when the only kind of tank he's played, Gnar, is pretty much permaban against him because he's so good on it. So either he starts picking up these tanks and letting Fudge and Berserker be more of the carries on the team. This is going to keep happening where it's just like, well, we can't really do anything because he's just going to get pushed out of lane because he can't kill his lane opponent, and then everyone's also trying to just four-man dive him a lot, and he can't do anything, and so we're already kind of down a player. And Fudge isn't going to carry, so it's like, well, Berserker and Blabber, hope you guys don't do anything stupid, and then they do something
yeah.
stupid, and then
Berserker does not, but Blabber often
no,
does.
Berserker rarely does something stupid. I think it's mostly Blabber, but
Yeah. So Golden Guardians this weekend, I obviously a much weaker team on paper. They haven't they didn't finish the year quite as hot as a Hun or Thieves did. So I think we have every reason to be optimistic, and I hope that some lessons were learned last week, but it's so hard to like
be optimistic. Yeah.
yeah, be optimistic, and like the whole subreddit is going down in flames too. So it's even tough to like just passively enjoy things. The Max Waldo video I was talking about with Mel, there were like 8 comments on it already, all about Renekton in last weekend.
He's, he's never going to escape that. He's
And like, yeah, obviously it's a Summit issue too.
Yeah, he's kind of the victim of circumstance. I think it's definitely on both of them. And I think people wouldn't be saying this if we had even just won game 2, right? If we had won game 2, I don't think anyone would have said they wouldn't have been this hard on the Renekton pick.
I think if we had won game 1 and lost game 2, it wouldn't have been this bad.
Yeah.
But even if we had won game 2, I think that all the fans were done.
Yeah, I could see that.
I
I
was
think it's
just like pissed off all game.
yeah.
Too.
And I think C9 kind of has not they haven't exactly helped their situation because it's like this whole season was hyped as this is Ellis's team. This is he is going to revolutionize how Cloud9 and League of Legends functions, and then literally 2 weeks later you fire, you let him go, and now you have this replacement in who is doing a very kind of average job.
I'm not even sure if I would call it average though, because they got second place.
No, like I guess
so-
I meant average in terms of like the picks and how they're kind of approaching the team. It's not, it's not anywhere near close to what people were hoping for and expecting. It's more just it feels like we're just trying to play like every other team again and not doing anything, cutting edge or different that's going to like really propel us up against the other teams. But then again, you maybe couldn't avoid that anyway. Like it's a really weird situation, and I think everyone's just going to constantly be bringing it up no matter what.
No, that's true. But Max was put in a difficult position too. He's younger than Summit is. And our team is like, I think it was overall on average the youngest in the league.
Yeah, I believe so. It's
Fudge is like 19, Berserker and Summit are Berserker, when some are 18, 19, Blabber's like 20, Summit's 23.
Yeah, like overall this is a very like young team.
And I do think Max has a very long, or I think Max will have a very long, successful coaching career. It's just tough to be thrown into a shitstorm and try and
No, yeah,
get out of it.
I think it's things maybe would have been a lot better overall if we had started with Max instead of he's having to scoop up everything and be like, okay, what do we do now?
Oh yeah. I'm 30 or I'm 30 now, and I couldn't imagine dealing with all of that.
Yeah, I maybe just
And especially at his age.
yeah, I mean, I'd maybe just quit. I just feel like I
Also.
can't do this.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go.
So it's not an ideal situation to be in, and I think he's not been perfect, but I think he's done a very good job overall. And I think that in his first split as a head coach, if getting second isn't isn't good enough, then I don't know what we should expect out of our head coaches. He Reaper won one split, correct? In like 3 years.
Yes, in his whole
And it was his
career on
second to
yeah.
last split.
Yeah, yeah.
He's now won one with 100 Thieves. But I will say, Saturday's match felt like a Reaper coach team.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it. Looking at it.
It really felt like we
We kind of outplayed ourselves.
Oh yeah, like you Reaper the coach for the Kindred games against TSM.
Maybe I can't remember. He's been there for so long. There's been so many games.
I want to say he was, but 2018 or 19, something like that, when we ran Kindred 3 times after coming in like first place against like 6th place TSM and got shit on each time. And it was Blabber too, I think. So it would have been Reapered. But drafting the same comp twice felt a lot like that playoffs series. And just like I don't get that frustrated that often. So I'm hoping to see that fixed this weekend. I don't imagine it entirely will be, but the fact that I think Summit is a lot better than Licorice is going to help. So how are you feeling about this weekend?
Man, I don't know. I think that the last weekend's game made a really bad taste in my mouth, and it's hard to feel really optimistic. I think on paper, like, we have the better team and we should win. Then again, I think I maybe said those same words last week. So
You're
I don't
smart.
know. I think we should win, but you never know what could happen, and if something catastrophic just comes about to where we just lose.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind like seeing them do some dumb shit, like picking Vayne top
They
and
could just do NASA support if like they really just wanted to like
yeah.
if they wanted to get everyone back. Like Ellis has been on NASA support for the past like 3 or 4 weeks, maybe.
I'm still not
Just
entirely sure how it works.
so I believe how it works is his wither makes it to where you basically can't escape. So you
Yeah.
pair that
Okay.
with a bunch of other slows and stuff to where once you get the wither down, they're basically not going anywhere, and it's just a guaranteed kill, basically. I think.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense. But can't you can't you just play Braum? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
maybe I don't know how it
Why-
works. I just know that he's
Yeah.
been like
Fair.
yelling about it
Yeah.
for
Okay.
a little
Fair.
while now. Like if you
Um.
wanted to get everyone on your good side again, just pick NASA support. Like
Oh yeah. Yeah. Uh, I mean like just play like Vayne top or something. I really don't care. Play
yeah.
Camille. Two good champions. Play Viego top. I really don't give a shit. I just make it seem like you give a shit is basically what I want to see. And if we do that, I see no reason that we should lose. Um, after last weekend, I don't want to say that we're going to yeah 3-0 them, but on paper we should. But after watching them, I feel like we probably won't.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Well, hopefully we can win, and at least like the win will at least like reset our mental, and we won't have to like be in a weird spot, and we can focus more. Um, I will say that like last week's game will have given us a lot to practice on. So hopefully, come Saturday, the team is extremely well prepared.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they just come in focused. That's about it. And if they can do the do that, they should win. Oh, what's your prediction?
I'm gonna say we win 3-1. I think that we have to shape up, and I think we'll have spent the whole week trying to. So hopefully that works. And we do win, and we can at least go on to the next round.
Yeah, it feels like a 3-1 kind of thing. The biggest issue is that this is an issue for next week. I'll leave it for that. I was gonna talk about EG, but let's get through this week first.
Yeah, let's do it a step at a time.
All right. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I don't really have anything.
All right. Well, then let's get out of here.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. Be sure to follow us at C9 Bodied, and we will see you next time.
All right. Bye, guys.